Welcome back to A to Z here on Locked On Sports Atlanta, free on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. Search Locked On Sports Atlanta. This segment brought to you by our friends at Sakara. The Georgia Bulldogs and the SEC are adding two more members, as everybody knows at this point in time. And so they are still tossing back and forth the idea of what they're going to do with their schedule, whether it's just going to be eight opponents and one steady opponent, a rotating basis of eight opponents, and or they're going to do the normal thing where they have three opponents and then five rotating non-conference schedule games or whatever it is, one non-conference game and five rotating opponents. It goes back and forth, right? And so Seth Emerson, who is as good as it comes to when you talk about covering Georgia and everything else. He's of the Athletic, and he put together a list of what he thought the Georgia opponent should be based off of order of like most likely, most best rivalries, best games, best teams to play. And I'll read it to you real quick because I sort of morphed it into something of my own here. But of the new UG or the new UGA opponents that are going to be there, the new SEC opponents, I should say. He ranked them from 15 all the way down to 1 as far as most desirable rivalries, right? So Mississippi State's at 15, even though Mike Leach is there, he's not going to be there forever. Missouri at 14, Arkansas at 13, which I thought might have been a little bit higher given Sam Pittman and his ties to Georgia, but it was not to be. It's not really much of a rivalry between Georgia and Arkansas. Ole Miss at 12, despite Lane Kiffin being there. Again, who knows how long he will be there. Vanderbilt at 11, Kentucky at 10, A&M at 9, LSU at 8, which I also thought would be higher. They only played each other 12 times since 1992, so it's not a team that Georgia plays all that often. Oklahoma at 7, Texas at 6, Bama at 5, Tennessee at 4, South Carolina at 3, Auburn at 2, and obviously Georgia at 1. And if that is it's going to be a 9-game conference schedule that rotates. The one game that you're going to see every single year is Georgia, Florida. Now, I took it in a little bit of a different direction. And what I said was basically from a purely football standpoint, what do I want to see? Which teams do I want to see Georgia play over the next 3 to 5 years, right? Because I'm here for good football. I'm here for exciting football. I'm here for matchups that actually matter. And I think that when you talk about the matchups that I want to see, this is the way I sort of run it down. I'll give you those here in a minute. First, a word from our friends at Sakara. If you are looking for wellness, joy, and abundance in all the areas of your life, the way to start is with what you eat. With Sakara, you can get nutrient-dense nutrient-dense meals. There are probably some metals in there, like the minerals that you need. Anyway, snacks and supplements that nourish your body without ever sacrificing taste or quality. True radiance starts on your plate, folks. Made with high-quality organic ingredients, Sagara's plant-rich transformational nutrition programs are expertly designed to deliver real results, from reduced bloat to ease digestion to clear skin, boosted energy, moods, and more. And right now, Sakara is offering to our listeners off their first order when they go to sakara.com/lockedon20. That's the code. Enter lockedon20 at checkout or go to sakara.com/lockedon20. That's Sakara, SAKARA.com/lockedon20 to get 20% off your first order. Sakara.com/lockedon20. All right, my list for the Georgia Bulldogs here and who I want to see them play from a purely football standpoint. And I can tell you that from 8 to 15, I don't care. These are my top 7 because I really don't care about everybody else. But these are the top 7 teams I'd love to see them play over the course of the next 3 to 5 years. However, you know what I will say? I'll at 8, I'd probably put Kentucky just because they're getting closer to contending with Georgia, and them upsetting Georgia would actually be huge for them. I don't think it'll happen, but they're going to be a thorn in Georgia's side. But Kentucky is a program that I think that's on the rise. I'd put them at 8. Number 7, I put Ole Miss. Why? Because I want to see Kirby Smart go up against Lane Kiffin. That I want to see. Two former Saban assistants squaring off. I think that's fun for me. And plus, you get contrasting styles. You get Georgia, a defense-heavy team, against Ole Miss, an offense-heavy team, and you get that matchup. Number 6 is Texas for two reasons. One, you get to see Arch Manning play live when that happens within the next 2 to 3 years. And two, it'll be fun for Georgia to pound Texas. Texas isn't very good from a football standpoint. I don't know how much better they're going to get quickly within the next 3 to 5 years. Obviously, Arch Manning may change that, but this is about Georgia strolling into Austin for me, beating the crap out of Texas on national TV and walking out. That's fun for me. That's like the one football standout game I think from a blowout standpoint I would enjoy. Because, well, Texas always seems to think that they're better than they are, and in reality, they haven't figured out that they're not that good yet. Could be, but not yet. Number 5 is Tennessee. I do enjoy watching these two teams play. I think Hendon Hooker this year is going to provide a level of competition that Georgia is might be a little bit surprised by. Hendon Hooker and Tennessee, I think, are a team that I think they might have some Ole Miss flavor from last year, right? That could be a 10-win team when it's all said and done. They may surprise some people this year. Just keeping their eyes on them. At number 4 for me, Arkansas. And again, this is also about styles making fights. This is tough pound 'em, run 'em defense, tough pounding, running offense for Georgia and hard defense. And the same thing for Sam Pittman. He's modeled Arkansas a lot to what he learned at Georgia. And I think that to me is something that is absolutely worthwhile from a football standpoint to watch. I think you get a really good matchup between those two teams. Number 3, Texas A&M. Jimbo Fisher, A&M, big program, big names. I think whether I'm going to get 100% the best football game, I don't know, but Texas A&M defense is really good. I get 2 defensive battles. Texas A&M obviously needs some help with the quarterback. Haynes King is coming back this year for the Aggies after the broken leg last year. So who knows how good he's going to be. But in the next 35 years, I expect Texas A&M to continue to be a very high-level program. And matching up against Georgia, I think that's fun. Those are games, again, that I want to see. Those are matchups that I want to see. And then finally, the last 2, and after I give you number 2, you'll figure out who number 1 is. But LSU at number 2. Georgia heading into Baton Rouge to go down to Death Valley and play a game there on national TV at night, to me, looks awesome. Just the hype behind that, I think, is great. You get Brian Kelly there now. They'll probably be a little bit better. At least they'll get some better quarterback play theoretically. But that's a football game I would get excited about. And again, excuse me, LSU's defense is what turns me on about this, right? I know Joe Burrow's not there anymore and that offense is gone, but LSU's defense against Georgia's defense looks like it's a fun matchup. And then finally, Bama. Can you ever get enough of watching Georgia-Bama? I can't. I'll watch those two teams play over and over again. Won't bother me. You're always going to get the best in high-level football. All right, coming up next, are the Atlanta Hawks late to the party? And is it too late for them is it too costly, I should say, for them to get what they need to be a better team? That's coming up next right here on A to Z on Locked On Sports Atlanta, free on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. Search Locked On Sports Atlanta.